some things bug you and other things don't. I mean, there's lots of things that could bother you that don't, because you're obviously not bothered by everything that you could be bothered by, right? There's lots of things in the world that aren't set right, but some of them really bug you. Maybe they make you cynical and bitter, you know? Oh God, look at how the world is constituted. It's so awful that I can't sustain my faith in the sight of that. It's like, well, you've got something to do there, guy. That's your problem. Why? Who knows? I would say the reason is that it's your destiny calling to you in the form of guilt over unfulfilled obligations. You have an instinct for growth. That's not a mystical statement. It's part of being human. We don't reach the limits of our potential. We're neotenic in some sense. We're continual children, biologically speaking. And so we're always transforming and changing in some direction. What direction? Well, your conscience tells you, at least in part, this bugs you. Well, it's your problem. Now, you may have to investigate that and straighten it out, because even your formulation of what bugs you is likely to be ill-constituted. But still, that's something calling to you. And you avoid it at your peril, and everyone else's peril too. And it is, see, that's the way that your biology manifests itself in such a sophisticated manner. It's beyond you. It's like your better self is attempting to manifest itself by torturing you with a set of problems that you need to address. And then you can refuse that, but then all the meaning goes out of your life if you do that. That's not good. We're developing something now to help people turn problems into goals. I have a problem. Well, sure you do. Okay, what's your problem? Okay, well, how do you turn that into a goal? So that's so interesting if you think about it that way, is that that's your goals, your problems. What should I do with my life? Well, what problems do you have? Well, there you go. Solve those. I'm not being flip about this. That's where the answer is to be found. That's not happiness. And happiness has those problems you already described. You know, it's got this now focused impulsivity. And you know, I've been hard on happiness as a pursuit, and perhaps too much so, because I haven't had very much happiness because I've been so ill for the last while. And you know, it's possible that I've undervalued it. Perhaps not, but it's possible. In any case, if it comes along, you're a fool if you don't welcome it. But it's still not the proper pursuit. I suppose to some degree it's not deep enough.
It's from a lecture that you gave, and it's written on my wall over there, and it's, don't practice what you do not want to become.
Oh, yes. That's I have a corollary of that too that works in relationships. Do not punish what you want to have happen. So here's an example. Imagine that you've married someone that you find attractive. And then imagine that other people find that person attractive as well, and that's actually somewhat threatening to you. And then instead of dealing with the fact that you're threatened by the very thing that you were attracted to and that you're blessed to have, you start to punish the person that you're with when they manifest themselves as attractive. Well, you do that for 10 years and the attractive person is no longer there. And then you're going to be angry at them, even though it was completely your fault. You know, because if you punish someone for the manifestation of a desirable virtue, it really hurts them. Because people are, you know, it's so interesting to watch what happens when people stop me on the street, especially if they're shy and maybe somewhat damaged. They want to tell me about something good they've done, but they're very hesitant about it because their experience has been that if they reveal something good they've done, they either get ignored or punished. And so they don't want to do it. They're afraid. But if they do it, and then they get a reward. Well, they're unbelievably happy about that. But that's a good example, because it's very common for people to experience punishment for their virtue. And you can do that with your kids too if you're jealous of them. I mean, maybe you have a kid who's really bright, he's brighter than you. It's like, are you so sure you're happy about that? And how do you know that you're not going to punish that child because you're jealous? And if you think you're not that sort of person, well, you should think again, because people are that sort of people. And perhaps you can train yourself not to do it, but envy is a pretty common human emotion, and the probability is that you're reasonably prone to it. But so one of the things I learned again from animal behaviorists, Skinner in particular, Skinner believed that, he's the psychologist who was most famous for learning experiments with rats. He believed that the best form of discipline, so if you wanted to train an animal to do something, was reward. You waited till the animal did something that approximated what you wanted, and you immediately rewarded it. So maybe he would train a rat to climb a ladder and then walk across the top of a ladder down another ladder. And well, he just watched the rat, and whenever the rat went near the ladder, he'd give it a food pellet, and soon it was near the ladder all the time. And then being near the ladder, it would put a leg on a front paw on one rung. Bang, food pellet. Well, soon the rat was going like this. And then the next thing, it was going like this. And he could, a good animal behaviorist can train an animal to do an amazing thing, any number of amazing things. In your intimate relationships, if you watch the people that are around you and then you see them doing something that they should do more of, and I don't mean this in a manipulative sense, because hopefully if you have any sense, you're rewarding them for something that would also be really good for them. And you say, look, I saw you do this, and that's really good. Do more of that. It's like, man, you're just opening up the pathway for that person to deliver what you want. If you'll admit what you want, if you'll reward it when it happens, if you pay proper attention, if you think you deserve what you desire, if you think your ideals are worth pursuing, if you have any faith in yourself. All those things have to be explored and answered, but it's unbelievably powerful. And that's all dependent on, moral orientation and the capacity to pay attention.
If the thing that's pulled you through over the last 18 months to 2 years has been meaning and purpose and something less ephemeral and less fleeting and grander and more written into the source code of your being than happiness, then I think it's as life boys...
It's been love too. It's been love too. It's been responsibility for sure, but it's definitely been love. A lot of people have taken care of me, and I also wanted to be around them. I wanted to be around because I loved them. So, and I think that's why the second book has a more communitarian element too, because so many people have been so helpful, and also because I've seen even more clearly how much of what's sustaining is derived from love. Love and duty, that's pretty good. I mean, duty in some sense is the cold equivalent of love. It's love shorn of its warmth. It's what you should do, and it's necessary, and there is tremendous meaning to be found in that. But love has this maternal comfort and warmth that duty lacks.